And welcome back to Up to Speed, a show that brings you up to speed on some of the big stories within the sports world this week. Hall of Famer Frank Thomas is now backing Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds as they missed the cut this year for the Hall of Fame, even with a majority vote. He states, "They should be in as far as I'm concerned. They've let a few people in already that we all know have taken PEDs. The Big Hurt has been a longtime critic of PED usage. One of his former teammates, Tim Raines, was let in this year, and Thomas was not too happy. Again, it will be an interesting sight to see what happens for the ballot next year within the Hall of Fame." The Pro Bowl took place in Orlando this weekend as the best names in football went head-to-head in their respective conferences. The AFC getting the nod with a 20-13 victory, which is not all that surprising. I, who doesn't really watch the Pro Bowl, was intrigued at some of the highlights from it. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce had a big performance along with Bills linebacker Lorenzo Alexander, so we're now on to the Super Bowl. Could Yasiel Puig be on the move? One of the Los Angeles Dodgers superstars has been brought up on several trade rumors around the league. But Puig has this to say: "I'm not surprised I'm here. I want to play baseball here." Obviously meaning with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Looks like Puig has put an end to all the rumors and will report to spring training for the LA Dodgers in Arizona in less than 3 weeks. It would have been an interesting sight to see and a huge loss if the Dodgers ended up trading Puig. New York Knicks star Carmelo Anthony has been headline news over this past week. If you missed it, Phil Jackson publicly stated that both Melo and Jackson had a conversation about his future in a Knicks uniform. Trade rumors have escalated since that conversation, and Carmelo had this to say: "It can be mentally draining, mentally fatiguing. So far, the Clippers and Cavaliers have been pursuing Anthony. This actually might give Anthony a chance at winning a ring. Let's see where he actually ends up, though." A big headline coming out of Baylor this week as a lawsuit has been filed against their football team for fostering a culture in which alcohol and illegal drugs were provided to their recruits. Also, the coaches encouraged female students to have sex with the recruits as well. Baylor has seen 52 reports of sexual and physical attacks involving 31 players from 2011 to fall 2016. Former football coach Art Briles has been fired, athletic director Ian McCaw was sanctioned and resigned, and president Ken Starr has left the program. Things like this should not happen ever. Hopefully the right people are punished and fined for even letting this happen. Michael Waltrip has announced that the Daytona 500 next month will be his final NASCAR race in his career. Waltrip, age 53, has had 4 NASCAR Cup victories, including 2 at Daytona. He's obviously looking to go out with a bang. Waltrip has 783 career starts. What a tremendous career for one of NASCAR's respected drivers. This has been another episode of Up to Speed. Make sure to tune in this Thursday for more stories within the sports world that you might have missed. Hello everyone and welcome back to Up to Speed, a show that brings you up to speed on some of the big stories within the sports world this week. Syracuse Hoops pulled off a big upset this weekend as they took down Florida State with a score of 82-72. With an 18-point lead starting the second half, the Seminoles had no chance at coming back. This was Syracuse's first ranked win in over a year. Will this put them back on the right track going into February? The Colts recently hired GM Chris Ballard will be using the 2017 season to evaluate head coach Chuck Pagano for his future with the team. With back-to-back 8-8 seasons, Pagano needs to step it up. Granted, several injuries to players such as Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, and several defensive players within those 2 years doesn't help. So if most of the players are healthy, look out for this Colts team to come out fighting early next season. The San Francisco 49ers have been making interesting front office moves within the past few days. John Lynch, a former champion with 15 years of playing experience under his belt, is set to take the reins as GM. Now, Lynch has no prior experience of being a general manager at all. Kyle Shanahan is still at the top of the list for their head coach as well. Sorry, Niners fans, but looks like your team will be in a rebuilding stage for at least a little bit. Let's all give Lynch a chance, though. You never know what could happen. He could possibly rise that franchise back to where it used to be. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Martavis Bryant has applied for reinstatement to the NFL for this upcoming season. Bryant was suspended last season due to violating the NFL's drug policy. Bryant underwent NFL-administered treatment along with coaching his local high school football team in Henderson, Nevada during the suspension. Bryant will be a huge boost to that already powerful offense that Pittsburgh has. Russell Westbrook is chasing history, notching up yet another triple-double this week. He is possibly on track for averaging a triple-double for a whole entire season. Only other player to do that? Oscar Robertson. Robertson was able to achieve this feat in the 1961-62 basketball season with recording 41 triple-doubles. Westbrook currently sits at 24 with 48 games to go. What a crazy feat this would be if he could even match Oscar Robertson's numbers at the end of the season. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are now number 1 in the country as they are the last team in Division I basketball to still be undefeated. They jumped up to this spot due to both Villanova and Kentucky losing this past weekend. This is only the second time in Bulldogs history that they will hold the number 1 spot, as the last time was back in the 2012-13 season where they held it for 3 straight weeks. Can the Zags continue to stay unbeaten? We shall see. $100 million in bets at Las Vegas have been placed for Super Bowl 51. Bill Sadler, director of specialty games for Caesars Entertainment and a veteran of the Las Vegas sports betting industry, expects that 70 to 80% of the money that has been wagered on the Super Bowl have been placed this week leading up to the game on Sunday. This just goes to show how much money people bet on these big games. Sunday could be a big payday for some and a heartbreak for others. This has been another episode of Up to Speed. Make sure to tune in next week for more stories within the sports world that you might have.